I is black girl, is chocolate factory, and melting in your mouth. I is beauty in bite-sized pieces, but I am toothache if you have too much of me. I am sugar rush and crash. I can be a painful love. I am proof that love comes at a price. I know that I hurt all who love me. I know I'm cavity, but I swear it is not on purpose.
I feel like my identity is so tied in with being a black woman. So my comfort with myself is mostly about that. Just being comfortable and with like my skin and my body and my hair, because it seems like even though I say to my peers and people that I meet, like, yes, be unapologetic, love yourself first, always like take care of yourself. No matter what you do, you're beautiful. No matter what you look like, you're beautiful. And I try to live by that, but it can still be hard just because I did grow up in a society where Western beauty standards, or they technically, it still is. I said it past tense, but it's still European based like beauty standards, and that is hard.
Her name is Iyaba Abosede Adetunji Owagboro. So from the jump, I was like, she's gonna have some challenges. It's a revolutionary act to wear your hair this way. It's a revolutionary act to have the name that you have and have the symbolism behind it. And that really, I'm trying to teach her to be her authentic self, no matter what situation she's in, and to understand that she must always fight, right? I'm always saying all my life I had to fight, right? Just like that is just that's our ancestry, that's our history, and that you'll constantly fighting some battle, and so you might as well do it with a smile.
For me, hair has always been hair. Hair is what grows out of your head, rather. Good hair is healthy hair. Good hair is not a texture. Good hair is not a curl pattern. It's what it is. And I think sometimes we've allowed for hair to become something that defines us, when really you're human. Being human defines you. And whatever, that humanness makes you into is ultimately what's good about you. So I don't even think about, like, when I get up in the morning and I think about doing my hair, I don't necessarily think about how will this affect my perception. I'm black. You're already gonna have a perception of me, and that's just fine. But I'm not sorry for being black. This doesn't scrub off, like, this is just me. So, I kind of feel like it's the same way with my hair. And I'm sure, I'm wearing a fro for now. I really like it. There may be another stage in my life where a different hairstyle will suit me, and I'll probably do that. I just kind of, just try to do my thing. And, blessings will come your way when blessings are supposed to come your way.
I swear every day I try to reverse back to cocoa bean, back to tree, back to protected by shell, unbothered, untouched. I promised you that I could try to be pleasure, to be smile, pearly in beam, stretch across midnight skin tone. All I ask is for you to be careful, to unwrap my packaging without tearing it. But first, read my labels. You should memorize my nutrition facts. Remember in every bite that you take that I am toothache if you have too much of me and you finished me without.
My consciousness, I think, kind of like blossomed, and then I was just like, we started talking about beauty amongst ourselves and what it meant and what we go through as women to try to affirm ourselves. And hair was such a big part of the conversation with the group of women that I lived in a dorm with, that I became really close friends with, and a couple of us decided, you know what, we really just let's just try natural. Let's go all in, cut the perm out, just go for broke, go rogue. Don't worry about what your boyfriend says. Don't worry about what your mom and daddy says. Be yourself. Just do it. And I remember the day I went to the barbershop. I had like a mushroom and a little bit of hair like right here, and I just said, cut it off.
And you can't see this picture well, but this is a picture. This is when I just had it cut, but it's hard to see because it kind of blends in. But that's when I first had gotten it cut. Look at my dad's looking at me. Like there was a guy, and the guy started clipping. You know, he was just like, so he started asking me questions. He was like, so why you, what's your goal here? What do you want? I said, I'm tired of the perm. I said, I feel like it's not good for my hair, and I want to, you know, give my hair a break from it and see, you know, how I feel and if I can manage better, you know, with the natural.
Contract and no rush. All one. 3 and 4. All one. And
On the floor, I was like, wow, I did it. You know, and I felt free. I felt so light. Like now I feel like this is heavy and it's still light, but it's light. But like there was this like lightness. I felt really, really light, and I felt really, really free and like liberated almost in some kind of crazy way. Like, what's this? But yeah, I remember that. I remember that day. Yeah.
So I've been natural since I was 4, so 12 years. So my mom has always been my role model, and having natural hair just like her was one way that I could be more like her. My mom already had locks, and so she asked me if I wanted her to lock my hair, which I did, mostly for maintenance. It's just easier.
I had many different stages of my hair. You know, I had my hair natural from the womb, of course, and then I started getting relaxers. I had a Jerry curl stage because I was a 70s baby. And then I did braids for a while as I started to go natural again. And then I really wanted to grow locks. I was a little nervous about it. You know, I was in college at the time, and it was like the kind of early 90s backpack rapper, kind of everybody had little starter locks. So it was pretty popular. But really what I learned throughout the whole process was just that after putting my hair through so much, I really wanted to just embrace that. And I wanted to make sure, like, it was a choice for me. It was a lifestyle choice. I knew that I wasn't gonna go back, right? Like, it was definitely, I'm committing to this lifestyle. At that time, I was all natural, homeopathic, vegan, just, you know, everything about me was that kind of earthy sort of person. And definitely when I decided to have children, it was something that I wanted to pass down to my children.
I shaved all of my hair off in the fall of 2012, maybe like November. So I decided to cut all my hair off because I had locks before and I got tired of them. So I started taking them out, but locks are really hard to take out, so I cut some of them. And some of my hair was longer, some of it was shorter. So I shaved half of it to get like that side cut that like Rihanna had back in the day. And that looked fine, but people at school made fun of me. So I shaved all of it off and they still made fun of me. But that started something that was good for me, I think.
You enfolded me like I was the last orchid left, the only person I would allow to relish in my sweet crystalline. And you know I am cavity, but you don't care. You still think my packaging is beautiful.
I was always the kid, if I didn't like something, you were going to know. And so I would tell you no, or I would be very, very obvious and jump away from you if your hands were in my head. Because I don't like that. It's my personal space. Leave me alone. Why are you touching me? I'm not running my hands through your head every 3 seconds. Or what would bother me too is they would know I didn't like it. And they would try different ways to sneak their hand into my head. Like we could be taking a test, or like the person sitting next to me, or we could be playing or something, and they would find some reason to touch me. I wasn't really bullied for my hair. It was more of the fascination, because everyone was always fascinated. Like one day I could come with my hair pressed straight And then the next week I have individuals in my head and they're like, what happened to your hair? And it was like a petting zoo with whatever hairstyle I had. And it does get annoying because I'm like, I'm not in your hair like that. Leave mine alone. My hair is whatever whatever my mom styled it to be that day. I don't understand why everyone needs to have their hands in my head at all times. I don't like it. Leave me alone. So yeah, I wouldn't say I was bullied. It was more so with the fascination of whatever hairstyle that I came to school with that day.
Every day, white people and black people would come up to me and say, hey, is that your hair? Oh my gosh, can I touch it? And it's weird because nobody goes up to a non-black person and asks, hey, is that your hair? Do you grow that out of your scalp or is it fake? And my mom always tells me, just tell them, yes, it is my hair. I purchased it. I'm trying to say more like, you might not want to ask everybody this question. You probably should not touch my hair because the next person that you try and go up to them and touch their hair might slap you. And I started trying to charge 25 cents every time someone touches my hair. It worked out one time, but this black girl touched my hair. I told her before, I was like, hey, I'm charging 25 cents if anybody touches my hair. For every touch, it's 25 cents. And she touched it like 5 times and said, I'm not paying you. And I was like, dude, it felt kind of uncomfortable just because I feel like she understands where I'm coming from, or she should understand where I'm coming from in terms of boundaries and things like that. Because personally, I'm not comfortable with people touching my hair. Other people might be, but that's just not me. And so I'm trying to be comfortable with saying no to people. Even though, especially with having natural hair, it's become like this thing that people just expect you to be okay with asking to, like, with them touching your hair. And it's really not, because like your grubby hands have been touching all sorts of stuff. I don't want it in my hair. But I don't know if saying this on camera is good, because if somebody watches it, then they're going to be like, oh, Carolyn didn't want me to touch her hair? Oh no.
When I was young, like my daughter's age about 5, my mom actually got my hair relaxed, and it's part of her culture, I guess. They like use the straight hair and things like that. Whereas on my father's side, they didn't really straighten hair like that. It's mostly braid. I think that my hair was damaged a lot from the relaxers and things like that. So once I like actually cut most of the relaxer out, as I got older, it's better. I would not put a relaxer in my child's hair. I like the coarse of her hair, like the thickness of it. Yeah. Like if I wanted to straighten it, that's what a flat iron's for, but for the most part, it's usually braids for her.
That's what makes them different to me, their hair texture. I mean, you have that straight hair that you can do anything with, but I mean, it's different. I think you can do a lot of things with natural hair.
It also
it's more healthier too.
Yeah. Teaches them to appreciate their culture as well.
Yeah, they're different. It's unique.
It's interesting because when I was younger, my parents used to always tell me not to let anyone touch my hair. So that's really how I grew up. It was kind of a personal thing. But as I got older and I started to make my own decisions, I let people touch my hair. And I don't think that, I don't like, when people ask me, I don't find it offensive. And it's actually, I don't know, almost empowering for me, because it's like my hair, which is part of my culture, they want to be a part of it too. And so, I mean, it makes me feel more connected to it.
No one wants to hear this, but I have a ton of positive experiences with my hair. Most people compliment it. They like it a lot. I'll be in the mall, and like a lot of times it'll be like white guys who kind of say in the mall, be like, I just want to let you know your hair is great. And you're just like, oh, well, thank you. I had a professor, I was in her office for office hours, and she's Italian, and she saw me with my hair out, and she said to me, she was like, it's just so chic. I love it. It's fabulous. And you're just like, oh, well, thank you. Just being myself.
You recite to me my nutrition facts and tell me that you don't even bother to brush your teeth. You always savor my sweetness. Your hands stained, viscid, and you never even thought of soap, and you knew I was cavity.
Like corporate America, do you think that a black woman can just show up to work with box braids one day and that would be acceptable, or show up to work like this and that would be acceptable? No, it's we're trying to say that all of our hair, even like this, is beautiful and should be acceptable anywhere.
In the nursing department, we're like, what is it? What the question was, what are you trying to say? And my response was, I'm not trying to say anything other than that this is how I'm styling my hair today. You know, this is what I want to do. And so the challenge of, oh, you're just super radical, whatever. I said, I wouldn't say all of that. I said, I'm as radical as the moment needs to be. But, this is more about what works for me. I mean, this is working for me right now, and I was a little upset because I felt like people were asking me something that was real personal. And I'm like, they have no idea what my struggle is. They don't even know who I am. They don't know where I come. They don't have no idea. So I just kind of like, at that point, started to learn to kind of like not worry a whole lot what people's perceptions were.
I really don't care. The only time I would care is before, I went to go into broadcast production, and there is still a stigma on what Black women and men can do with their hair on air. You have to look, quote unquote, presentable, whatever that means. So I feel like there is pressure with that, but otherwise I do not care. Whatever I do with my hair is what I do with my hair. Okay? And you're going to be okay with it. If I want to have a 40-inch weave, I'm going to do that. If I want to have a bob, I'm going to do that. If I want to cut my hair in an asymmetrical style, I'm going to do that. If I want to dye my hair fuchsia, I'm going to do that because it's mine and it's on my head and it grows out of my scalp. I really don't care. And if I feel good in it, I really don't care.
Right after I graduated high school, I was interning at Perkins & Will, which is like this really nice architectural firm right in Boston. And it was this really glitzy office. And I think at first I had this wig that I would wear that would, it kind of mimicked my natural hair pattern, but it was still a wig. And then when I kept changing up my hair, and then I started my lock journey, but then it didn't really last that long. When I first had locks and they weren't, they didn't look professional enough, what I thought was not professional enough. And I would cover it with a hat and I would get these looks and stares and stuff like that. So I actually stopped my lock journey because I was in that, while I was in that internship, because of what I thought my coworkers would say. And I was always reading about it back in high school. And I would get worried because I was like, okay, what if my future employer doesn't, accept my hair or thinks I need to cover it up? Or if I can just not style my hair at all, and that sometimes happens, would they understand if I came in with a scarf because I still wanted to keep a professional look? Kylie Jenner looks great with the big lips. People are still making fun of little Black girls for having big lips and having a big nose or having a big butt or having cornrows or anything like that. It still happens.
I find it hypocritical, and mostly I just feel like it, in a way, I try to turn it around in my mind and say that, like, Black women are just so amazing that they just want to copy us. And so even though they need to look down on us to take away from our beauty and our Black magic, like, we know that we were the originals.
All we mean by Black girl magic is that we love our Black. We love our hair texture that comes with it, our glow in our skin. We love all of our, what people would think are imperfections. We love it. and we embrace it. And that's basically what black girl magic is. It could also be white girl magic, Asian girl magic. I mean, it could be, but like, you see, but like, we made it first.
I think now it's so much easier to be comfortable with not only my hair, but just like who I am. And I think it has to do a lot with social media. Just because with all the representation in social media, it's really easy to find people who look like you and people who are comfortable with themselves. And seeing other people like that is great for young people to see and say like, oh, I have a role model who actually looks like me and is comfortable with who they are, and that means that I can do that too.
One of the biggest influencers in my life was this YouTube star. She was just kind of starting out. She's like super big now, Sunkissed Alba. I don't know if you know her, but she's super big now, and her channel has evolved so much in the 6 years that I've watched her, and she's probably the only YouTuber that I keep up with still. And I feel like I know her. Like she's my bestie. Like we're cool, and I'm gonna meet her someday, I know, but I love her so much, and I feel like I needed that as a young teenager throughout my teenage years that are coming to an end soon. But yeah, she's been like my big sis, my mentor, my inspiration, and I feel like every girl needs one of those. And I can only hope that one day I can be that to somebody else. So.
I mean, I guess what I would say to anybody, who's contemplating hair, questioning their beauty, or, anything of that type is just like, you were made purposefully in the way that you are, and that there's nothing wrong with you. I mean, I'm a Christian, so I believe that God doesn't make mistakes, right? Like, the way that you come out of the womb is exactly how, like, he intended for you to look. And embrace that. And there are gonna always be people where, the way that you look or the way that your hair is or your skin color is, it's not gonna be their preference. But preference doesn't define beauty, no more than media defines beauty. Don't let things like hair and skin and makeup determine what you believe you should have. You should have everything because you're worth it.
You knew I was sick and sugar high and crash. Your friends told you of my side effects. They told you I was dangerous, that you were asking for trouble. Yet you'd continue to crash until the day that you don't get up again, and you tell me to continue being sweet. So I remain sugar. Keep being chocolate factory and toothache. I keep being black girl.